Hey everyone, I want to talk about Luis Elizondo and Susan Gough and what's been going on between them. So let me just quote something which Susan Gough said. Gough told Liberation Times the following. She said, Mr. Elizondo provides technical advice on a variety of classified topics for the US Space Force. So she acknowledges that Elizondo is involved in the US Space Force. Uh, People think that she's got it out for him, like, she's trying to discredit him or whatever, but that doesn't support that argument. So now let's have a look at her statements as far as Elizondo's involvement with ATIP is concerned. So excuse me, she says she's quoted as saying, Mr. Elizondo had no assigned responsibilities for ATIP while he was in OUSDI. DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, administered ATIP, and Elizondo was never assigned to DIA. Elizondo did interact with the DIA office managing the program while the program was still ongoing, but he did not lead it. And to News Nation, she's quoted as saying, as we have stated previously, Luis Elizondo had no assigned responsibilities for the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP, while assigned to the Office of Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. So the key thing here is assigned responsibility, okay, or assigned responsibilities. It's not like she's saying that he had no responsibilities at all. She's saying that he had no assigned responsibilities. And that's pretty much because ATIP was not an official effort, okay, as discussed in the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon and in my previous video, which I talked about. So it makes sense that if Elizondo wasn't the director of ATIP, then he had no assigned responsibilities, right? Because if he was, he would have had an assigned responsibility. He would have been assigned as the director of ATIP. Now, I don't care what any of Luis Elizondo's sycophant defenders and supporters, because there are a lot of them out there, I don't care what any of them say. He was not the director of ATIP, okay? Now, I'm not saying he wasn't involved at all, that he didn't have some responsibility, as you can read from Susan Gough's statements, right? She's just saying that he had no assigned responsibilities, which makes sense if he wasn't, the director, if he wasn't assigned as the director, and if ATIP wasn't really an official effort, it was just something that was done, during the spare time of Elizondo and others. So to me, it's not like Susan Gough had it out for Elizondo, and I think people need to just grow up and realize that. Just get over it and acknowledge that Elizondo was not the director of ATIP. He lied about that, okay? And unfortunately for him, it damages his credibility a lot. And yeah, that's all I've got for this video. And don't hate on me for saying any of this. I'm just pointing out what I see and what's apparently obvious and what should be obvious to everyone. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.